Hey, this is Bobby Mahoney, and you're listening to Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio.
Hello, Producer Claire.
Howdy.
I have to tell you.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I have to tell you. I sent out, and our guest tonight can attest to this.
Okay.
I sent out, instead of last week's show, since we had to pull a re-air. So Visit Clarksdale got 3 weeks in a row.
Nice. Woohoo!
Actually. However, I sent it out to our affiliates, and the majority of them answered me back, and all had concern and well wishes for you.
Why? And why is this?
Well, because I told them we had to cancel unexpectedly.
Oh, yes. Yeah, last week we had yes, okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Correct.
My brain is all there. It's
this-
been scanned.
At this time last week, we were in hell and fluid, and we were trying to figure things out.
That's right. Well, I did, much to my brother's chagrin, my brain is there. It is gray matter, and there's nothing else but the brain in there. So they did scan for it, though. And he asked, was it mold? Was it, as only brothers can. So he was highly concerned, but he was glad to hear that it's all normal.
That you're okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Now, I just want you to know that this is considered okay.
You told me she was in prison.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hope she's out.
Shoot. Coming to you from Trenton State Penitentiary.
Live.
Almost alive. We faced the electric chair in 2 hours.
I got life.
That's it. Welcome to Rock On Radio here in the fabulous 2-track studios of Deco Entertainment. Woohoo! Rock On Radio is brought to you by O'Connor's American Bar and Grill of East Hampton, Mount Holly, New Jersey. O'Connor's is the official caterer of Rock On Radio. Mm-hmm. Phoenix Art Supply and Framing, located on Route 611, otherwise known as Southeastern Road in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, where on June 7th.
Which where?
Correct. And other
Who, what, when,
other
which where?
things of English variety I will throw out, of which where you and I will be the MC on June 7th for their Rock the Block part of the Doylestown Music Fest.
1 to 6, 1 to 7 o'clock p.m.
I don't know.
Until they throw us out.
Hopefully you wrote that down somewhere.
Yes, I did.
But I do have to talk to Heather because May 1st, coming up next week, May 1st, is their big... they're having the
May 4th.
No, May 1st. They're doing some kind of like auction. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, she just sent it out to me. Anyway, I have to donate a prize pack.
I thought it was May 4th, but
May 4th is when I leave for Myrtle Beach.
no, May 4th is a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
May 1st is a Thursday.
Correct.
Oh.
So I'll let you look that up, and
Okay.
we
I've
can
shared
debate
it out.
that.
I thought it was May 4th.
So anyway, so we will be the MCs of the Doylestown Music Fest, which is great. I always like to help Heather whenever I can.
It was nice. She was good. Very fun.
Correct. Asbury Park Vibes. We love Diane and Doug. They have a great podcast. And Asbury Park Vibes, if you are a band, musician, solo artist, realtor, anything you need, what's that? Face the Music. And when is it?
May 4th.
I can't see your phone.
May 4th.
May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
All right. I have to have it to her by May 1st.
Aha. That
My
makes
apologies.
sense. That makes sense.
I was testing your brain to see if the gray matter was still working.
That's mean.
Well, I'm helping you out.
Oh, yeah. So obviously I proved it's working.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So, what the heck did I just say?
I
What
don't
did I
know.
just say? You
Asbury Park Vibes.
You were up to Asbury Park.
Asbury
yeah.
Park Vibes. Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you.
problem.
Somebody's paying attention. Thank you. Doug and Diane do bios for websites. They have a staff of about 15 photographers. If you need headshots, if you need your show covered, reach out to them at asburyparkvibes.com. Vargo is having a 2 for Tuesday 5th anniversary show
That's
there
so cool.
with a host of performers.
Nice.
It only holds about 35 people for this show. So
Okay.
if
He's
we want to
coming in
go,
for
we
that.
probably have to let them know.
Okay. Speaking of anniversaries, happy anniversary. Yesterday.
April 26th.
That's right.
Yesterday was the original airing date, first time ever on air of Rock On Radio, April 26th,
Nice.
2009,
Very cool.
on WIFI 1460 AM radio,
Look at that. That's
Where-
a run for
where
sure.
I lived for 3 years until that fatal Christmas spectacular. We had this Christmas spectacular. Every year we have a Christmas spectacular.
Yeah.
So this was the, let's see, 09 was number 1, 10 was 2, 11 was 3. So it was the 2011 Christmas Spectacular. When it came time for the 2012 Christmas Spectacular, I reached out to the program director, who said he has nothing to do with it anymore.
Sorry. It was falling apart.
Figure a real peek behind the curtain on some of the shows we air around here.
Hearing all this stuff in my headphones.
Sorry, it was falling apart. The whole thing fell out.
I see. Yeah, you gotta you
No,
gotta
it's just
replace
mine.
that quickly.
It's just mine.
All right, thank you. So, anyway, on the fly mic repair.
Yep. That's how we do it.
So for 2012, it was October, and I reached out, and the program director said, "I'm leaving the station at the end of the month. I have no say over the Christmas party." The previous year, in 2011, the engineer who ran all the equipment, repaired all the equipment, everything for the radio station, apparently called the program director and told him. Now, you have to understand that my Christmas spectaculars, there are children there. Like,
Yeah.
if the artist wants to bring their kids, they can bring their kids.
Sure.
Yeah. I do bring like a 30-pack of beer and some homemade eggnog and a bottle of Jack Daniels, a couple bottles of wine for anybody that wants it.
Yeah.
I keep it to a minimum because people usually bring stuff as well, and I don't want anybody going out of there hammered.
Right.
So I get these. I get this call from my program director who says, "I just got a call from the engineer who said somebody called him and said there's a massive booze party going on in the station lobby and somebody is smoking cannabis."
Oh, my God.
So I was like, "What the heck are you talking about?" I said, "Yeah, there's booze here, but nobody's smoking, anything." So
Can't help it. I don't have WD-40.
So I go out and I let my co-host take over, and I go out. I'm looking, and right off the station, there's a bathroom with a window to outside. I open up the door. It doesn't smell like anything.
Sure.
So I'm looking around. I'm like, is anybody out here smoking dope? And they're like, huh? And there's kids there.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So I go back in, and I get on the phone with my program director. And I was like, I don't know what they're talking about, man. I got nothing going on here. So that was the end of that. So come that October in 2012, when I call the new program director, he says to me, "You will no longer ever have a Christmas party in this station. You will not even have as much as a bottled water in the studio or the lobby the day of that Christmas show."
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, can I take it to a couple of hours?" No.
Sure.
He says, because I used to pay for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Kind of rent a studio type of deal.
Right.
And I had sponsors that offset that cost.
Yeah.
And they would give me a free hour because the show did really well on the station. He says, "No."
What a wet blanket this guy is.
I said, "Okay, well," I said, "maybe I should call the owner because he's the one that's always, I am working for the owner. He hired me and told me to tell you such.
Oh,
I said, okay. I said, well, then I'll tell you what. This Sunday is my last show. I'm not coming back.
yeah.
And I didn't. Now I was left without a home, so that's how I wound up going internet radio.
Sure.
But if you listen to that engineer, it wasn't just cannabis. I think he said we were like sacrificing small animals. Human sacrifices, looking for virgins. There was all kinds of stuff going on.
It sounds like my kind of show, honestly.
Which is how I got the reputation I
Yeah.
got, apparently, but
Yep.
whatever that may be.
The bad boy of internet radio. I think I've heard people call you that.
Correct. That's what they refer to me as. Or that idiot from Rock on Radio. They're both the same. They sound
Sure, it's one and
exactly
the
the same.
same.
That's how it translates.
Yeah.
So
The Sultan of Swing, the Colossus of Cloud, the Bambino. Like, you're kind of in that, in
correct.
that,
Yeah,
in
they're
that
all
vein.
kind of it's
Sure.
synonymous.
It's the same
with-
guy.
Yes. Correct. So, but that's how I wound up leaving that station, and there has been a lot of very interesting things over the 16 years now that we've been doing this. We've had 2 anniversary parties, the 10th, the 15th. We've had, I can't tell you how many countless people I've had, such as yourself. The musicians, we've had authors, artists,
Comedians.
movie actors, actresses. What else do you say?
Comedians.
Comedians.
I think he said medians.
That's
was
what I
like, that
thought
would
she
be
said.
cool.
We had mediums.
We did have a medium.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had mediums.
We did have a
yeah.
medium
Yeah.
on here before.
Yeah.
We've
We could
had
have a medians and be like a comedic medium.
Only talk to dead comedians.
when we talked to Ernie Kovacs and Louis Anderson.
Yeah. Don Rickles and, yeah.
yeah.
So, but I've always given, and over the 16 years, I can honestly say, there have only been 3 individuals, well, 4 now, 4 individuals who did not have a good time or did not have anything positive to say about the show.
Yeah.
At least not to my face. Anyway.
Right.
These 4 pretty much said something to my face,
Yeah.
and which is fine, and not but I'll take that.
It's a pretty good
Yeah.
ratio.
Out of like
I would
what,
say.
800?
Considering I
800
average
different-
about since up until COVID, I was averaging 50 guests a year.
Yeah.
So that was 11 times 50,
Sure.
500 and whatever.
Yeah.
We've
50
definitely been about
guests.
almost 800 shows.
And then, since COVID and we pre-record and had to move out here to Deco, things maybe less, maybe 45 a month instead of,
Yeah, I
or
guess so.
45 a year instead of 50.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm having a good time so far.
Oh, good. So
Yeah.
we got to get to you, actually.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Yeah, the mystery
but
guest.
it's and I have to say thank you to all of our affiliates, of which you are the newest one.
Right.
There are some people like Jeff from RFTK Radio in the UK who has been with me from the first year the program started. Hamilton Radio was where they took me in, my first internet station, and one of the 2 first affiliates. My first affiliate ever was Gary, was the Penguin Rocks.
Yeah.
And I can't say enough good things about Gary, about Gary Ween, and how he has supported me and my career and this radio show and anything I have ever done. He has been right there for me, and he is just total aces and always will be.
New Jersey Stage.
NewJerseyStage.com, one of our sponsors as well.
Sorry, I got you sidetracked on the anniversary thing.
That's okay. I was going to say something about it anyway, but
I figured.
just get it now, get it out of the way with. Dee Dee's Lights. Dee Dee is the official chandelier of Rock On Radio.
The official chandelier.
Yes.
I love it.
She
She's a
hangs up.
chandler.
She hangs lights all over the place for us.
Chandler.
All right, Chandler, candle maker
Sure.
of Rock On
We
Radio.
have a
Yeah,
we have
a
a baker
baker.
and a candle maker.
Okay.
And you're the butcher.
We do. The baker is Lilla Pies of Princeton, located at 301 North Harrison Street. She's got some big stuff going on at the bakery this Sunday.
Ooh, today.
3 o'clock. Awful, like when she closes.
Today.
Yes. 27th. That would be this Sunday, today, right?
Would've
Not
been
this coming Sunday.
That's right.
Okay.
So it would have been at 3:00.
April 27th, she, at 3 o'clock, she had chef, it was an Asian chef come in and show you how to make dumplings.
Ooh.
Asian dumplings and a few other things, and it was a little pricey, but it was like $95 a person. But
Ooh, and
you
all the
did-
dumpling you can eat.
That's right, and everything you made you take with you. So it was done at Little Pies of Princeton, which is 301
Awesome.
North Harrison Street, inside the Princeton Shopping Center. We love Jen, and as far as I know, she's still married. Or at least that's what the restraining order says. But she does provide us with all of our desserts and things whenever we
She's
have
amazing.
a Rock on Radio
We
event.
love her.
So
Amazing.
we do. We love Jen. We also have Sinister Footwear, sinisterfw.com. Go there and check out some of Tina's crazy socks and the things that she sells. And if you use the promo code DCR Socks, that's DCR Socks, you get 10% off of your order at checkout.
I need some new socks. So
There
that's
you
a good
go.
one to know.
Check them
They're
out.
so
Sinister Footwear, sinisterfw.com. Phoenix? Oh, I did Phoenix Arts
You did.
Supply and Framing.
So,
Tyndall Road Brewery?
yes,
Is that our last one?
jazz and blues.
Oh, the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. Okay. Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation, jsjbf.org, and you can see what they are up to and into. I've got some more Clarksdale stuff to put together for them, which
Yep,
will be on
we
an
do.
episode of Danny Coleman's Got the Blues in the future. And we have partnered with Tyndall Road Brewery. Now that Lent is over, I still haven't had a beer,
Ooh,
but I
look at
will
you.
go there and sacrifice my liver just so we can continue the partnership with Tyndall Road Brewery.
You are the man.
Thank you very much. I've longed to hear you say that. And I'm glad everybody else has now, too. Now you can't take it back.
That's right. You are the man to go test the whatever beer you want.
I knew I was pushing it.
Should have just left it there.
And how can they find out about us, Claire?
They go to dcror.com, which is the short link for Danny Coleman's rockonradio.com.
Excellent. Facebook is Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio, the number 2. Instagram at Rock On Radio, all one word, all capital letters.
And also the Doyles you were talking about on May 4th, that you have the basket, but just the Doylestown Music Fest is also a sponsor too, even though we mentioned it too.
Correct. That's
Yes.
right. They are now a sponsor of Rock On Radio
Until
right
June
through the
7th.
Music Fest until June 7th or
Yep,
8th?
June 7th.
Is 7th the
It's
last
the
day?
Saturday.
It's
Well,
the-
no, the 8th is the last day.
It's the 1st to the 7th.
Right.
The 7th is the big party.
And it's all over town. So they have all the music venues get together, all venues get together and play music.
We will be on the main stage.
Yes, we will.
Because I am not walking all over town. I can tell you that right now.
Have to push in a wheelchair.
That I'll do. I would gladly let you. There's no cliff, so I don't have to worry about that. You would push me.
Hook
know
one
what
of
I'm
these
saying?
up there onto the arm. You could do like a whole show just getting wheeled around Doylestown.
That's right.
That sounds pretty cool.
Now that.
Listen, I'm an
You're
idea
an idea
guy.
man.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I came here.
That's what I like. It's like when I was in Florida with the other 5 drunks playing golf back in January. Our tee time got rained out, so we went to a Top Golf. So, of course, I come up with this idea. We should call it topless golf and attract.
Why do
Are you
why
guys
don't-
playing golf topless? Because who are you attracting if that's the case?
Well, clothing optional for men or women.
I got you.
But
Yeah.
we call it topless golf.
Sure.
And I had
It's
some
like-
other spin-off ideas off of that,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
could talk to you about off air. But
Yeah.
this is, I too am an idea man.
That's why I think we get along.
maybe
honestly.
not a good idea, man. But
Now we talk about our affiliates, who I do really wish to thank. And we've had, at one point, this show had 21 affiliates. Now we have 13 in total, 12 or 13 in total.
nice.
We've got some that have been taking the show for years, like Cold. Oh my gosh. They're
Something wrong
down
with
in-
your brain?
They're down in Florida, and it's just the station just went right out of my head. But then we also have one in Indiana, which is it was Fallen Angel Radio.
That's
and
right.
We also have my man John, who
Is it Sword Radio?
Sword Radio's in the UK. That's over in the UK. I want to thank Martin over there. John at Alt Radio UK.
That's right.
I want to thank him over there. Jeff, as I said, we have Sandown Bay Radio, which is, I believe that's, I want to say that's in somewhere on the Gulf, maybe Florida or Louisiana. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
The Gulf of America.
It's probably in Levittown, for all I know, across the river.
It probably is. It's right on the road.
Probably in Lambertville, like 5 minutes away. But there just been so many over the years. Z100 Radio, my man John.
I still have that T-shirt somewhere.
There's just so many affiliates, of which, and the reason why I bring this up, not only because it's been 16 years, but because we have one of them in studio with us tonight. And this gentleman is here because of my buddy Melissa Peterson, who recommend that he and I talk.
Nice.
And we did. And our show doesn't exactly fit the format of his station because we send him a recording of the show.
Right.
However, for whatever reason, he gladly welcomed us aboard, and we are pleased to welcome him. Say hi to Mike Ham of Radio Garden State. Mike!
All right. Yeah, it's good to be here. Yeah. Well, I mean, not just Rock On Radio, too. I mean, there's a couple other shows that we run for you throughout the week, too.
You take the Rock on Radio Indie Hour.
Indie Hour
you
and
take
got
my
the
Blues
blues.
show.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when Melissa reached out, I mean, because like I always say, we want quality people that do quality content. So we got the quality people thing, check. And then, but when we talked, I was like, this is just a slam dunk. And I remember when I put the post up and all that, and I got a bunch of people messaging me like, oh, this is great. Like either they've been on the show before, they've been on Rock On Radio before, all kinds of people like that. And it was just a cool thing. And I think just the vibe and the energy and all the stuff that you guys do and how you do your show kind of fits the vibe of the station that we're trying to cultivate.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, I'm glad that you guys are a part of it. I'm glad that I'm here. So thank you for having me.
No, anytime. You can come back anytime you want.
All right, great. Thank you.
Even if I have another guest, you're more than welcome to come hang out
Come sit
and
down.
talk
Sure.
with us. And,
Yeah,
and,
I'll take you up on that.
and
This is
sit.
fun.
Yeah.
And you're
Bring
I
people.
like coming out to the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, this is the hinterlands
Yeah.
here in the Sourland Mountains. Which I said to her on a drive up tonight. I said, "Oh, the Sourlands are looking especially lovely this evening."
Yeah.
Springy.
Yeah, spring it.
So, but you're here obviously for two reasons: to promote the station and promote a big festival
Sure.
that you have coming up.
Yeah.
So I'll let you start wherever you want,
Okay.
and then I'll work my way backwards
All right.
because I'm good at that.
Yeah. No, you're great at that.
Going in reverse.
Yeah. Going in reverse. So I guess we'll start with Radio Garden State just because that, that's kind of where everything, the center's, what's the thing in the center of a wheel with the spokes coming off?
The
hub.
hub.
The hub. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. So that is the hub. So Radio Garden State, we launched that in July of 2024. So we're still not even a year old, but we've already been doing some really cool things. And our whole goal, really, when we launched the station, was to feature creators in the state of New Jersey. So we play a lot of Jersey music. All of our hosts are from New Jersey. We don't only play Jersey music. If a host has a show that's, they want to do whatever it is, they can pretty much do anything they want because we let them be creative, I think at this point we have about 18 hosts on the station right now, which is pretty cool. Doing a mix of, both, pre-recorded shows and live shows for us. I think live shows we do about 10 hosts, like about 10 hosts a week doing live shows for us, which is really cool. I mean, when it started, it was just me. I did an hour, when we launched 8 a.m. July 1st. I didn't really know what I was doing because I'd podcasted before, but never really ran a radio station. Radio station was kind of thing I had in my head that was like this could be cool to do one day. And then some of the stuff that we were doing in 2024 with the Jersey Fest event, which we'll obviously talk about, and then launching Radio Garden State, doing another Jersey Fest event. It just seemed like it was going to work. And then, out of the gate, my buddy Chris Vaglio, who's our morning show host right now, he does another show on Thursday nights called That NJ Hardcore Show. He's like, came up in the punk rock scene in Jersey. And when I told him about this idea, he was like, that is sick. He's like, I got to be a part of this. He's a full-time job, and he hosts more shows on the station than I do, But so he's been great, and he's been basically been with me since day 4. And a couple other guys like Timmy Goodtunes and Ron Santee and a few others that have been with us since pretty much the beginning. And it's really gotten some legs. We've done some really cool and interesting things, because we can do really anything we want. I would just say, like, we're pirates. We have no rules. I mean, we abide by, like, the pay out the royalties and all that kind of rules, but we're not governed by the FCC, so we can kind of be creative and do different things and try things, see if they work. If they don't, scrap it. Who cares? Like, let's go try something else. So it's been a lot of fun to see it grow, and then to bring on shows like Rock on Radio and some of the other ones we do, and also just like to see the evolution of people that have never hosted a show before, that I think just have a cool personality and they're fun and they're interested in music or they're interested in whatever. And then you get them on, and some of them have been with us now for like 5 or 6 months. So they're in show 30, 40 in some cases. And just to kind of see the evolution of where they started to where they are now, it's phenomenal. So it's been a lot of fun to watch that grow.
That's amazing. Now, where are you located? Do you have a studio space that they can record from?
So we don't. That is one thing that I do like about us. I mean, technically, so I live in Bloomfield. That's what I call HQ, the spaghetti triangle. So we're one corner of the spaghetti triangle, Bloomfield, New Jersey, Radio Garden State HQ. That's like home base. So we'll do some stuff there. Like, we've started doing some Radio Garden State Unplugged sessions where we'll have bands come in, play acoustic, or an artist come in, play a couple songs for us, record it. That was just kind of happened by accident with Emerson Wolf. She brought a guitar to do a podcast episode with us, and she was like, do you want me to play a song? And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you no, because I just want to hear it. Right. So we recorded it, and then that kind of launched a whole different segment for us, on like a YouTube segment for us. But we have hosts that live down in Asbury Park, down even further down the shore towards Atlantic City, out in Rockaway, obviously like out this way. So it's just been really cool to see the scope of what we're able to do with all the different people that we have running shows on the station. And you get different flavors of the state, basically. So like me in Bloomfield coming out, now we have a show here, out where we are here. And to me, that's a cool juxtaposition of like different styles of what Jersey has to offer, and it's an hour away. So it's really not that crazy,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was when Melissa contacted me, and she's like, before I put you two together on a text or an email thread, I just want to tell you what we have going on and what we do and so on and so forth.
Yep.
And I asked her, I said, well, do you want to come on my show and talk about it? She said, well, I don't want to. Well, first off, I love her.
Sure. Yeah, they're great. Telegraph Hill Radio, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. live every Sunday.
Oh,
right.
Cool.
And that's what.
Which is when we're quote live.
Yeah.
Melissa.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Melissa said to me.
That's why we can't see it.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Because Melissa said to me, she said, I don't know, I can't remember how she worded it, but it was something to the effect of, I've been wanting to talk to you about this for quite a while.
Yeah.
She says, I felt so bad doing our show Sunday nights at 7 o'clock because I know you've been there for years.
Sure.
When this show started, it was 10 p.m.
Yeah.
10 to 12. Figuring Sunday nights, people have afternoon gigs or whatever, they can just come up there. It doesn't know who's got a gig at 10 o'clock on Sunday night.
Totally.
Right. Unless you're playing a bitter end or something,
Yeah.
So, but when I went strictly internet, I moved it to 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so sure enough, she's like, I felt so bad, and I didn't want you to be mad at me, and I would never be mad at you.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been doing this for a long time. If that's where you need to start, then you go there and start.
Sure.
And if more people listen to you than me, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's not going to change. I said, and then again, it's not the same listeners.
Right. Exactly.
So it didn't bother me, but I'm pretty sure we may have booked her and Joe to come in here and talk about that as well.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you start this show. Now, have you always been interested in radio, or was it?
I used to play around on my parents' computer when they first got like the first big Mac, and it was huge. And I used to.
This is weird. It's like the ghost in the machine. It's the mic stand. I swear.
It's fine. If mine was like, I mean, I like been playing with this thing the whole time.
You said you want a producer, right?
Yeah. Sometimes
She may be available.
What? Give me up.
He'd have to fight me for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, can I watch?
So
She'd be handing you a baseball bat. Here, hit him with this.
Try this one. Oh, no, you try it. You try this.
oh man, yeah, producer would be cool. Anyway, so yeah, I used to like play around and would record stuff and like hear it back, and then but I played baseball growing up, and then all through college, and my first job was a college baseball coach and all that kind of stuff. So I really never really did anything with it. Eventually, when I came back to Jersey, I started a job as a title insurance salesman, which is about as sexy as it sounds. And then my whole job was to take people out for drinks, go out for lunch, go out to events, all that kind of stuff.
I bet you scored.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
COVID happened, and obviously all that went out the window. So I had some experience. Like I would put together my own events, like young professional events and real estate events, because I had no background in title insurance or real estate or really anything business. Like I had an MBA, but I didn't do anything with it. So then I started running virtual networking events. Then I took that and made it a LinkedIn show. Then I took that and made it its own real estate focused podcast. And then I was like, boy, it really stinks talking about real estate all the time because I don't know anything about it. And it's not that interesting to me. And if I talk to one more person about 1031 exchanges or commercial real estate taxes, I'm going to gouge my eyes out. Like I can't handle it. But I really loved the medium of podcasting. So then I was like, all right, I need to figure out a way where I can do a show. I did one in-person show at my buddy's studio down in Trenton as a guest. And I was like, man, this in-person thing is where it's at. Like Zoom interviews are...
Where was that in Trenton?
It's... I forget exactly where in Trenton, but he had done some PodMax events where, like, essentially he would do these virtual events all day, 8-hour virtual event on Fridays.
What was the name of the studio? Do you remember?
Begin
with an M?
No.
Okay.
I don't think
charades?
Sounds like
3 words.
Yeah. No, it was by, I don't know. I'll look it up when I in a minute. But so I did one there as a guest. I was like, in person that's it. Like I want to do that. So then eventually I started, brainstorming. One night I remember I had like a legal pad and a drink, and I started writing notes. I woke up the next morning. I was like, these notes are probably ridiculous. And I read them, and I was like, this is actually a really good idea. So it was basically taking a mobile setup, so like a little PodTrack P4, a couple mics, and a camera, and just go to local businesses around Jersey and run a show. And so we launched with 3, Calandra's Bakery, MPAC in Morristown, and The Right Cut, which is a barbershop on the campus of Rutgers, owned by Super Bowl champion Tim Wright. And that's how we got going. And then from there, Greetings from the Garden State was the name of the podcast, and we just kind of have grown that to a point where we've done stuff with, I always joke, like, at the time I was an insurance salesman who had no business being friends with people that have been to, like, the Olympics or on Survivor or on Top Chef, or people that are, like, actually successful, and, like, good at what they do. But then we started doing stuff with, like, the Devils and the Prudential Center, and the World Cup's coming to Jersey next year, so we started doing stuff with them. We did stuff with Eric LeGrand, which was, like, incredible.
Wow. Yeah, he's great.
All sorts of things like that. And I was like, wow, this is really getting to a point, that's hitting, like, a critical mass where it's becoming something. Then fast forward, that was October 2021 when we launched Greetings from the Garden State. October 2023, almost 2 years to the day, I signed my contract with the New Jersey Lottery to bring them on as our title sponsor for the show. the next day, not even joking, laid off from my full-time job. So I was like, if this is not the universe kicking me right in the teeth and being like, hey, boy, wake up. It's time to try this. I don't, and I listened. We took it through the entire year last year. We did the 2 Jersey Fest events. We launched Radio Garden State. We started doing some other really cool, interesting things. And here we are. So, to answer your question in a really long, convoluted way, it was dormant for a long time. And then once I found a way that I could, express myself, I always say podcasting saved my life in a lot of ways, just because it has introduced me to so many cool, interesting people. It is now my business, and it's been incredible just to kind of see the evolution of what we've been able to do for the last 5 years, really, since I started podcasting.
Well, and just so you know, that's how I answer all of my questions.
Sure.
Long, convoluted.
Yeah, that's why that's why we're
why that's acceptable.
Yeah, exactly.
So
This is true.
well, I for me, that's great. I love when somebody has a vision, and even if that vision has gone blind or
Sure.
blurry, they keep at it
Yeah.
and they keep going. I know over the years I've been doing this show, I've had a lot of people saying to me, "Why do you even bother? You're not making enough money to pay your bill. Why do
Right.
you even bother?" And my response to them is, I've never made money.
Yeah.
Even when I was paying to put this show on the air, I always broke even with my sponsorships.
Yeah.
And that was fine. But you don't, when you do what you do, you're giving people a voice.
Sure.
And that's the way I've always looked at this program. I'm giving them a voice.
Yeah.
Somewhere to put their music, somewhere to talk about their upcoming shows, somewhere to do that sort of thing.
Yeah. And if you look at the industry now, not to get too down into the weeds on that, it's broken, the music industry right now. And particularly, even if you look at just here in Jersey, restaurants generally only pay for cover bands. So it's hard for an original band to really kind of break through.
Right.
Streaming platforms, don't even get me started. They just kill the little guy and promote the big guy. And even those big guys
Don't make
aren't
much.
making enough
Yeah.
money to really make it make sense.
Right.
So why not try to do something that's a little bit different, give them a platform like you were saying, give them a voice, we talked about the hosts that we have on the station. I mean, obviously, you guys have been doing this for a while, what you're doing. We have people that have literally never, we have people that have literally
Dewey.
never done a show ever. No podcast, no nothing. And I was just we were talking about it one day, and I'm just hey, do you think you ever want to do a radio show? You really, I find them interesting, which is, kind of my own. I got a haircut today, even though I'm bald, but my beard cut.
Me too. I got a haircut.
Nice, dude. And
I did not.
But he was he knew that I did this podcast, and he started talking to me, and he talked for literally an hour and a half, and he was man, he's just I just don't know what it is about you. You just have this way of just kind of receiving, and I was yeah, I don't know. I just find people's path really interesting, and I just find people overall interesting,
One of the things I often tell people when they tell me things that are similar to what you just said is that you'll be surprised how much people will tell you
Yeah.
if you let them.
Oh, for sure.
There are a lot of hosts who will interrupt, or they'll ask a question and not wait to really let you answer it. They'll just go on to something else.
Yeah, tell you what they think first, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they don't listen to the answer.
Right.
Sometimes.
That's, yeah.
And that always drove me nuts. And I think, and anybody who's listening to us banter so far on this program, I think they know that a lot of the guests that come on this show over the 16 years tell me they like coming here because I let them talk.
Yeah.
And I take that as a compliment.
Sure. As you should.
Sometimes
That's a skill that people don't. I know I just interrupted you. But that's a skill that
It's a
a lot of people
conversation.
don't have, They just can't make that work. They just have to talk about themselves,
Right. Now, the old station when we were on City of Angels Radio, which was a drug and alcohol, still is a drug and alcohol outfit. They get people into treatment. They don't provide treatment.
Okay.
They help, and they help the families and everything.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's no irony in this statement, but we had a fridge that was full of beer in the in the studio.
With the AA meeting happening next door.
Oh my God.
Literally happening next door. And, you know, I really, except for the Christmas party, I never drank on air, but our guests were always welcome
Sure.
to have a couple. Some of them would say no. Some of them would say yeah. Some of them would drink everything we had. Mick and Ron, thank you. Successful failures.
They brought their own, though.
Oh, that too. And then they started on ours. So the key is to allow people to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And the key is to allow people to, if you're going to ask them a question, you got to wait for the answer.
Sure.
And I just wish. Now, when you're doing commercialized radio, like I do my blues music show on WWFM, which is an FM station out of Trenton, and it's simulcast on WWNJ out of Toms River.
Right.
And there's one down in Cape May, but I'm not sure what they do down there. But anyway,
Does anybody really know what they do down there?
it's 2 hours away.
That's way too far.
So now and it's governed by the FCC. So
Right.
I am limited to my time.
Yeah.
And there's an hour, and people want to hear blues music. They don't want to hear me ramble.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I only have 4 or 5 voice opportunities over that hour
Yeah.
that I do the show, and they've got to be 2 minutes or less.
Yeah. To get all those tunes in.
Right. So out of a 59-minute and 45-second show, maybe 10 minutes of my voice, which includes the opener and the closer.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
So, and that's that. So you decide to start the radio station, but you got this idea to go to businesses and things. And is that how these various, like, fests come up? Because I know you have a lot of people broadcast from certain places and things.
Yeah, so we did a show with Sean Seda, who's the EVP of Entertainment at the Prudential Center in Newark. And that was kind of like my first, not my first big guest, but like my first big, in my mind, business opportunity. I had just gotten laid off. We recorded this show. The Harris Blitzer owns the Prudential Center. They own White Eagle Hall in Jersey City. And I had done
they
some...
do?
Yeah.
I didn't know they owned
Yeah.
both of them.
And then they also own the Lowe's Theater in Jersey City as well, which they're renovating, which is going to be like a 4,000-seat, theater. It's like another legendary spot in Jersey
Right.
City. So stay tuned for that. Maybe Jersey Fest will grow to a point where we could have it there one day once it's open. And I had done I did like a 6-month party for Greetings from the Garden State after we launched at a brewery in Morristown. So shout out to Glenbrook Brewery. When I lived in Morristown, I spent a lot of time there at the corner of the bar, just like editing episodes. And, like some people work at Starbucks, I worked at a brewery. To each their own. And then we did a 1-year anniversary party, which we had like 120 people come out to. And I was like, boy, this is fun. I like this. And it's cool to see, like, you could talk about listener numbers and all that kind of stuff. But when you physically see someone in your space that's there because you invited them for free, we gave them free food, but like they had to pay for their own drinks. We had some raffle prizes from guests. So I always like had this idea and this inclination that I wanted to take all these cool and interesting people that we've had on the show at that point for a year plus, now 3.5 years, and put them in a space. And so when I had Sean on the show, he started talking about White Eagle Hall, and afterwards I was like, I have this idea. We work with a lot of local businesses around the state. At that point we had started having some musicians and artists on like Jackson Pines and Reese Van Riper and a couple others. So those are some of my early,
My man Reese.
Yeah,
What's that?
That's right. Reese, we've
Reese
had
was
Reese
on
on.
this
Yeah.
show.
I love Reese. Reese is
hysterical.
officiating my wedding in October.
Oh, no
So
kidding.
fun.
Yeah, we making him wear the full black getup with the hat, the whole thing. I mean, he's the best.
That's great.
So
Better have a quality cigar for that
Yes.
event.
yeah, well, where do you think we're getting our cigars?
Exactly.
From-
Right, there you go.
From Brick House Cigar Shop in wherever that is. The Doesn't matter.
In Van Riperville.
Verona.
Yeah, Electric City, New Jersey. That's what he says. So I explained my idea to Sean, and he was like, listen, I love it. I'll introduce you to the team. If you could pull it off, we'll do it every year. So we started working on it. It was incredibly stressful. I don't know why I'm still trying to do it again, but that's essentially what it was. So we put Jersey Fest together. Reese Van Riper was one of our bands. That we've had 5 bands. Reese Van Riper, Jackson Pines, the Vaughns, Surfing for Daisy, and Natalie Farrell were the 5 that it was. 5 was too many,
We
but
love Natalie Farrell.
Natalie's great. Yeah, Lou. Oh yeah, Lou's the best. So that was the show. The lineup we stocked the bar with Jersey breweries and distilleries. We had Ruts Hut do their first ever pop up in 96 years of being a business at Jersey Fest, and they've become a partner of mine. Where like we brought Rippers to Asbury Park when we did our show down at the Wonder Bar down there back in November. They're coming again with us to Jersey Fest this year, all due to the efforts of Johnny Porkroll out of Red Bank, who has the food truck, so they're able to cook the Rippers in the truck because all the places that we were at don't have. I mean, Wonder Bar has a kitchen, but we weren't allowed to use it because the Wonder Burger is what people want to eat. I'm like, not at my show. So they're a partner of ours too. So it just kind of culminated in like all these great people, all these great businesses, all these great. Oh, and Cellar 335 in Jersey City, and Chef Jamie Knott. Can't forget about him because he was doing tastings upstairs for our VIP ticketed guests. So we brought all these people together. We put on a great show. I think we had like 350 people come out that first one, which I was like amazed at. We didn't really sell any tickets until 2 weeks out, which caused me to lose all my hair, and totally stressed me out. But it just worked. And then that's kind of how like Jersey Fest really came to be. So we did that one May 18th, 2024. We did November 2nd, 2024 at the Wonder Bar. And then we're bringing it back to White Eagle where it all began May 17th, 2025. So it'll be our 3rd Jersey Fest, 2nd at White Eagle Hall.
That's cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Doors are at 7. Show starts at 8. We got Emerson Wolf and the Wishbones. We got Connor Bracken and the Mother Leads Band. We got Reality Suite. We have John Kaz doing some Jersey songs. The Creatures of Chrome, which is a pole dancing troupe out of the Jersey Shore. They're going to be doing some performances there.
Oh, pole dancing.
Sure. It's very tasteful, very classy.
You are not allowed to pole dance.
Yeah, different show. We'll do it at a different show. But listen, there's a lead for every pot, so, you never know.
No, we don't let him dance
Okay,
at all.
not that lid.
Now, see, that's
At
a
all.
good. They could kick off the grand opening of Topless Golf.
Sure, they could.
But there's a top. Never mind. Top for every pot, except for them. It's topless.
Well,
Yeah.
you sent us. Let's do some music.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
sent us a whole bunch of
I did.
different tunes. Is
Yeah.
there one that you would like
Kick it off.
our fabulous producer Claire to?
Well, we're opening. We had a really hard time figuring out the lineup, who was going to go first, because really we have 3 headliners. But we're opening with Emerson Wolf and the Wishbones, which I'm very excited about. She's incredibly
amazing.
talented. The band I saw live at Telegraph Hill's Wowie event at the Wonder Bar at the end of last year, and I was like, oh my God, like they are so good as a band. So probably Not a Good Woman, which is my fiance Chrissy, her favorite song by Emerson Wolf.
Okay,
Not a Good Woman.
If you're just tuning in here on Rock On Radio, we have Mike Ham, the main dude at Radio Garden State. And go to where you can hear this show Monday mornings at 10 a.m. So if you're missing it now, you can hear it tomorrow morning
Nice.
on Radio Garden State.
Well, if they're missing it now, they're not hearing it.
Time is just a construct, honestly.
Did you not listen to the word Chili Billy had to say when we went on the Jeep
I
tour?
heard every word he said. I took it to heart too. I'm just saying.
I love this show. This is my new favorite show.
And
This is what goes on if you listen past the half-hour sponsor.
this is my theme song.
Okay.
Not a Good Woman.
little closer to myself. Under the skin of someone else is where my blood runs clean, and I have got a ghost or two in a stale bottle kept on the shelf. My heart like ice and your hand melts, but it won't start the beating. I know it isn't mine to say, but I can't stand to see you again this way. I'm not a good woman when I'm with you, baby. That's why I'm gonna leave you. Don't have a good thing left to give. If I ever did, baby, you own it. I'm not a good woman when you love me. Your heart is way too high above me. Darling, I'm paying what I owe. I'm gonna let you find that kind of love that I don't know. It's been a while now since I've been breathing on my own. Always so afraid of the unknown. I guess I'm a coward, it would seem, but it's only my body. Yeah, and it's only my mind. While it's your heart on the line, left in the spaces in between. And this can never be my place to let your good loving go to waste. I'm not a good woman when I'm with you, baby. That's why I'm gonna leave you. Don't have a good thing left to give. If I ever did, baby, you own it. I'm not a good woman when you love me. Your heart is way too high above me. Darling, I'm paying what I owe. I'm gonna let you find that kind of love that I don't know. And I wanna get close to you to get me a little closer to myself. Under the skin of someone else is where my blood runs clean. And I'm not a good woman when I'm with you. Not a good woman when I'm with you, baby. That's why I'm gonna leave. I'm not a good woman. No, I'm not a good woman when you love me. Your heart is way too high above me. Darling, I'm reaping what I've sown. I'm gonna let you find that kind of love that I don't know.
Now it's 20 seconds.
Emerson Wolf, right?
Emerson Wolf
Emerson
and the
Wolf.
And
Wishbones.
the Wolf Tones.
The
Wishbones.
wishbones,
Or the
right?
Wishbones.
Wishbones, yeah.
Witchbones.
Wishbones.
Like you pull the wishbone, you're making a wish.
Now, I got Mike. I got to tell you, Mike. There are nights that Connie, control board operator here, sits over there and she's like, just jamming along with the music, and I'm like, "Are we back?" And she's like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
Then there are other nights like now where she goes, "We got 20 seconds," and like here it is,
It was 30.
like 6
okay? I
hours
can't
later.
answer. So, my brain scan might have been off. I don't know.
I'm thinking. Now I will
keep
go
on
on
your
record.
toes.
I will go on record as saying now, although she teases me mercilessly,
Sure.
when I got that phone call last week, I was very worried and very scared because, huh?
Really?
Yeah.
Who called?
Well, he hadn't been trained yet, so he doesn't know how to use that stuff.
That's right. I needed to make sure.
Now we're talking.
Correct. But, and speaking of which, I want to which. Now you got me.
Witch and wish and wish and witch.
I want to say something. I want to wish
Bones.
our very own Bruce of Deco.
Yes, we love Bruce.
Bruce has some health issues going on as well.
We send lots of love.
And we want to wish him nothing but the best. And, we want to make sure that we keep him in our prayers, so to speak. And if you don't pray for Bruce anyway.
That's right.
So, and we'll do that. But we are here with Mike Ham of Radio Garden State. The website's radiogardenstate.com.
So do you have a show called Ham Radio?
My business is Ham Radio
I was gonna
Productions. Yeah, just kind of worked.
I know it did.
You know,
That was a good one.
yeah, knocked it right out of the park.
You're looking at me like that for. Didn't do anything. Man.
So
how upset were you last week?
I was. And I haven't been up there since July when I went there to get pudding from my girl Sylvia. But, when I will say, and I will admit, that I was and I still am, in a big debate. But after the 15th anniversary, and before the 15th anniversary, there was a point of this program where I told her, it's time to, it might be time to go.
Right.
I question my validity and whether or not people still listen, and if it has any kind of impact,
right,
and so on and so forth. And then, of course, something happens and I get sucked back in because somebody tells me what a difference I made in their life or whatever, and because I'm a wimp.
Just a big teddy bear.
I'll keep doing it.
Big teddy bear.
Yeah.
And case in point, one of them this time was you allowing me to bring this there. So now I've got a whole new base of people to hopefully listen.
Oh, God, now I can't stop Radio Garden State.
That's right, because then you'll be just might as well drive this car key through my chest. But and I think as an especially I'm at that age now. I knew it was coming. Little boy. I'm at that age now.
How old are you?
Where if I'm asked to do a gig, all right, is there a drum kit? Because I really don't want to bring my own.
Yeah.
Is there actually, I'm doing a gig with Weimer on my birthday, by the way.
Are you? Cool.
At
Where?
Seven Sons Brewery or Distillery
Where's
up
that?
in Howell.
Oh, very cool.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So, or you get to the point where you wonder if this show still has what it does.
Yeah.
Then you sit back and you look and you think people come, people go, trends change.
Sure.
But if you stay the course, you're still doing what you enjoy doing and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now, on Radio Garden State, you have kind of a smattering of programming.
Right.
I mean, heck, you let me join. So
Sure. You're taking anybody.
Obviously,
right?
I have no standards either there.
We have standards. It's just incredibly low.
That's right. Friends in low places. Well, what is the? And I know you told us the background in the story, but what is it that drives you, Mike, that keep you doing this and and then with the festival and
Sure. I honestly think, and this kind of goes back to the conversation that we were having before, like the people that I've met and the stories that I've heard, and like especially when we start talking about like local businesses and independent artists and all that, like it's hard out there for everybody, and we've been able to do, I think, a good job at least telling the stories and getting the word out about what they're doing and all that kind of stuff. And then I almost look at it, not to kind of like put myself up on this pedestal, but like now a sense of responsibility because I've built something that has resonated with people, that has grown with people, that have given, like I said,
which is what I just
exactly someone like you that's been doing it for a long time, maybe kind of like lost the spark, but then we bring it back. People that have been doing it for not that long, but have now grown into something that they really truly love, and like I hope one day they get a real radio gig. Real radio. This is real radio.
This is-
I don't mean
I know,
to
yeah.
say that. It came out wrong.
A regular
Terrestrial
regular,
radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to go back to the dinosaur, go ahead. You
That's
know,
right.
but you know,
Hey, thanks for being my guest, Mike.
sure. we can edit that, right? Yeah.
Mike had to go, everyone. Oh, and by the way, there's a black bear out there. You might want to keep an eye out.
No, but like, you know, to basically bring people on to do their shows and kind of grow into themselves. And, you know, like we're even talking to some other artists. That's something that Joe Palm and I had talked about early on when they first joined, and he thought it was great. And we were talking about how it would be great for artists to have their own show on the station, you know, and we've started to do that. Like Reese has a show on our station on Tuesday
does
nights.
he? Cool.
Jackson Pines has a show on Thursday nights. Justin Normandy of Transcharger Metropolis also has a show on Thursday nights. Cranston Dean does his WFKU show. Cranston, do you know Cranston?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cranston Dean had been doing WFKU, a fake radio show,
Really?
for like years. And I kept like looking up. I'm like, what the hell is WFKU? And I texted him because I got to know
Only
him
because it
through.
couldn't be FUK.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I later figured it out. But so I got to know him pretty well through Jackson Pines, and Jackson Pines, the guys
Who he
Yes.
Joe
performs
and
with
James
as well.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
he's their
soloist.
drummer. And I texted him. I'm like, what is this show? And he's like, oh, it's just like a fake radio show that I do every Monday at the Chubby Pickle in Atlantic Highlands. And I was like, you know, I have a station. Like I could make it a real show, you know? So he does it Monday nights live there. We have a show that we run from Georgie's in Asbury Park. They feature LGBTQ artists every Monday night, and they play live music, so we tap into that feed and we broadcast it out on the station. So there was a time conflict, but we just run his show that he does Mondays on Wednesday nights, you know, every week. So, you know, stuff like that, I just think that's kind of like why I think that this has legs, because it does allow people to be creative. It does allow people to take something that, like, I think has a connotation or whatever, like other people that have started internet radio stations in the past is just kind of like a hobby. And I'm like, no, like we're going to make this as big as we could possibly can, you know, and like think differently, go out, do pop-up broadcasts which we've done from the Prudential Center, you know, we had the Weird New Jersey guys, Mark and Mark, we did a pop-up broadcast at Obel's in Bloomfield. You know, we told all, you know, their crazy stories that they have, and they put out a CD of like random bands singing about stuff that Weird New Jersey would talk about back in '98, and they gave me a copy. And we played it, you know, we did like a live show. We had an audience. There must have been like 50 people there to like come listen to this show. And when like you said, you have moments like that. It's like when I play golf, I stink, and then I have one good shot. I'm like, I got this. I'm coming back next time. You know, like that's how my brain works.
Yep.
You know, and there's definitely like we were talking about lulls. There's peaks and valleys. You know,
Well, for me, it's the frustration
sure.
of. I thought when we began to pre-record this program instead of doing it live, that would help with the artists to promote it. And we've been pre-recording it now since COVID.
Yeah.
And it's gotten worse. You got 4 days to promote it.
Yeah.
I never see anybody make a Facebook post or an
Yeah.
Instagram reel.
Well, sometimes.
No, very rare.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
you do because you may see it, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm trying to promote you. Why won't you promote yourself?
Yeah.
Which is one of the determining factors as to why I was really literally inches away from giving it up.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, why am I doing this if the very people I want to help don't want to help themselves?
Yeah, I agree with that because especially like on the podcast side, you know, like we're trying to promote local businesses whose always the rub with them is, you know, we don't have enough money for marketing. I'm like, well, here's 45 minutes of video and audio for free. I don't charge guests. We have sponsors like you. And I'll come through. I'm going to put up a reel or an Insta post or whatever. Just share it, accept the collaborator invite, whatever the case may be. You know, I would say it's gotten better, but at the same time, it doesn't always click in. And I'm like, so why do we just do that? You know, like the whole point is, you know, maybe like sharing some audiences and all that kind of stuff. But I always bring it back to the fact that those episodes and just kind of like the consistency with the content and all that, as long as it hits the right people, you're eventually going to find people in your ecosystem that vibrate on the same level as you, that have the same mindset as you. That's why the people that we have running shows in the station, like you guys and all the other people that we mentioned before, like they're in, like they love it. And that's the kind of people that I wanted. And even to the next point too, is the fact that like those, even though maybe some of those local businesses haven't shared it or whatever, and maybe like their episode didn't do as well, whatever, the amount of doors that it's opened up to different people, you know, because they have maybe followed me peripherally, they've seen some of my stuff, it pops up onto their feed one day that I share, and all of a sudden, like, now they're a guest, and then they know somebody, and then they know somebody, and then they know somebody, and then we're doing Jersey Fest at White Eagle Hall. Then we're having Eric LeGrand on the show, we're having Keith McPherson on the show, we're having, you know, Ken Danico on the show, like people like that. And it's like, that's why I think, even if it's frustrating, it's a long road, and everybody wants free stuff. It's insane. People are like, let's collab. And then you talk to them, and they're like, yeah, I think it would be a great guest on your show. And I'm like, that's not what a collab is. I don't think you really get what that word means. But, you know, we'll find some business synergies. And they're like, let me talk about real estate on your podcast. I'm like, nope. No. We already did that once before. We're not doing that again. So, I mean, like, I mean, that's the creator's dilemma, really. It's like you put stuff out, you put art. This is art. This is your own form of art. Similarly, my own form of art. You put it out. It's going to resonate with some people. It's not going to resonate with others. And you just got to, you know, just keep your head down and just grind away. And I know that's easier said than done.
That's exactly it.
But, you know, it's like those wins, though, feel... It's like a drug. It feels so good that you did something nice for somebody and they appreciate it, and then they're into it, and then you do more stuff together.
Right.
And there are actually, believe it or not, members of my own family who don't get that.
Yeah.
They don't see that.
Sure.
They don't see that.
Let me go down that rabbit hole with you.
doing something nice for someone, or doing something you love and you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Because people tend to monetize everything, or look at it like, well, what's in it for me, or what's it, and that's not always the case, you know. Well, let's do some more music. You got for the May 17th.
May 17th, Jersey Fest, White Eagle Hall.
How do we get tickets?
You can go get tickets at radiogardenState.com/JerseyFest. There's buttons all over the website to get tickets. But if you go to radiogardenState.com, you can get tickets there. They're also on the White Eagle Hall website, which I think is whiteeaglehalljc.com. And you find us on the calendar, Jersey Fest, Saturday, May 17th. Doors are at 7. Show starts at 8. It's going to be a great show.
Right. I'm here with Mike Ham of Radio Garden State. And who would you like producer Claire to conjure up now?
I think Reality Suite would be a good
Okay. Now, I've heard of this band, but I've never heard them exactly.
Sure.
Where are they from?
They're a North Jersey band. They're kind of like spread out across North Jersey. We recorded with an episode with them, which is coming out this week at Angry Papa Entertainment, which is a studio in Wallington, which is right by like Clifton, sort of.
Okay.
And so we like did an episode together. I hung out for their rehearsal to kind of see like how they were doing for Jersey Fest, and they sound amazing. But they are kind of the polar opposite of Emerson. Like Emerson, more folk Americana. Reality Suite, a little more heavy metal. So I think if do you have Legendary over there? I forget which ones I gave you. Legendary would be good.
Okay. Once again, Mike Ham of Radio Garden State, Jersey Fest, May 17th at White Eagle Hall in Jersey City.
Correct.
And here's one of the bands that will be performing at it.
Yep, Reality Suite.
And this is your song, Legendary.
Legendary. your fatal eyes. Let's set these walls on fire. 'Cause your souls lose their minds and all inhibitions. And never will forget the taste of skin and morals we misplaced. It's what we crave. I'm not afraid now. We are legendary lovers, burning up the covers. We rule the night, baby. We are legendary lovers. Nothing's gonna stop us. We rule the night. We are sweat and shame for our youth careless games. We'll both burn in flames. How'd you like to do that? I never will forget the taste of skin and morals we misplaced. It's what we crave. I'm not afraid. We got legendary lovers, burning up the covers. We rule the night, baby. We are legendary lovers. Nothing's gonna stop us. We rule the night. This time we are legendary.
Well,
And that's it.
That's the song.
That was it, David. I
talk
wasn't
about a
kidding.
cold ending.
Oh, boy, hard stop. Yeah.
Wow.
I just telling you, that's what I was left. I had nothing to do with it.
Well, Reality Suite's a great band. We're very excited for
That's awesome.
Excellent.
it. Yeah.
Reality Suite here on Rock On Radio. Now, I can totally understand we're just talking about promotion. I can totally understand if Mike does not want to promote his appearance on this program.
Oh, I'm going to promote this more than I promote my own show, honestly.
Well, so this now you're doing the Jersey Fest. How much help are you getting with it? How many people are on your proverbial staff?
Well, there's me, and that's kind of it. But so for like logistically and really kind of like pushing advertisers and like all that kind of stuff, 99% of the burden does fall on me because I'm the only one that pulls a salary from my business. So, I mean, we have people that are like I mentioned Chris before, and Reese is going to be at Jersey Fest this year, just kind of running around doing whatever Reese does. Mick Metal, who owns Shotzi's Tattoo, and Tenafly now, and Ron Santi, and Palm, I think, will be there as well. They all run shows on the station, and they come out and they help out for however they want. Like Chris and I think Mick are going to do a live show from like doors to when the show starts, and then we'll plug into the feed and then broadcast. I don't know if we're going to broadcast this show yet or not. I haven't figured that out yet. I want people to come.
That's true.
So they'll do stuff like that. But I mean, a lot of the other, things that we do kind of fall on me, So, but this one, I don't know. We're always going to do it at White Eagle because we pulled it off last year, and they're a great partner of mine. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to do the one in the fall again, not because we didn't have a good experience, but just because it just feels like a little bit forced to do two big shows a year. But we're going to start doing more, like almost like a smaller show at smaller venues and places every month. That's kind of like my goal.
Like a sponsor kind of thing.
Yeah, like a pop-up thing. I use pop-up a lot, but like a show at, like we mentioned, Obel's before in Bloomfield, like Dive Bar in Bloomfield. That's where we had the Marks from Weird New Jersey on. And they said, you want to come back and do anything, let me know. Like we have partners like a Ruts Hut, like Asbury Park Brewery, like the distillery in Asbury Park as well, like
Rock on Radio.
like Rock on Radio, so like places like that have been like, they've worked with us on a variety of things. Now they're Jersey Fest partners. We've talked a bunch about doing smaller shows at their places. And then to me, that's kind of like what Radio Garden State really is all about. Like, we're just a bootstrapping, blue collar, just like get after it and DIY it and make it happen kind of thing. So that kind of lends itself to like a smaller show, like bring people out, sell some tickets, maybe do a free show, all that kind of stuff.
Well, people listening to this show tonight, which is April 27th,
Right.
that gives us the 4th and the 11th before Jersey Fest. So
Yep.
what I want you to do is give me whatever, I don't know if you have a pre-recorded ad or
Oh, sure, yeah.
whatever you want to do, give it
Yeah.
to me, and we will stick it in the next few programs.
That'd be great. I appreciate
And
that.
I will stick
make
it
a
in my
note that I
indie
do that.
shows, and I
Yeah.
will put it in at the beginning or the end of the Blue Show.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that'd be
And
awesome.
we
man.
we
Thank you.
promoted the Jersey Fest on Rock on Radio's page already. So
Oh, great. Awesome.
There you
Yeah.
go. See?
Thank you.
See how quick she is?
Yeah,
Like that.
that's why I want a producer.
I
That's what I'm
know.
saying.
I know. And all kidding aside, I probably have the best producer, but more people associate this show with her than they do me now.
Yeah.
And that's
I
the
mean,
truth.
that tracks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I could never do this without you, though.
Has there ever been a moment where you're just like, you know what, I'm out of here? Like this 8 years, this is way too long.
At least once a week.
Sure, once a week. At some point in that 2 hour span.
Not for the show. I mean,
right.
I love the show. I love doing it. I
Yeah.
love
I
meeting
mean-
people.
The Oak Ridge boys think that it's her show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yes,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Richard Sturbin.
I did not mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. No, I said it's just I love the people. I love the
Yeah.
musicians that come on. I love when we go out and promote and talk to people. It's all about meeting people for me.
Yeah.
I'm a flaming extrovert, so it's
Has there ever been a moment for the two of you where you've had, like we talked about guests and all that, like a guest where you're like, I cannot believe I have this person on Rock on Radio right now? I'm sure there's been one, maybe more, that you're like, wow, I can't believe this person's sitting across from me and I'm talking to them.
Well, I feel that way about, and this isn't just cliche or
Sure.
trying to be, diplomatic.
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel
that's
that way
more-
about all of my musical guests.
Sure.
Have there been certain ones that may stand out a little more than others?
Mhm.
Go ahead, Claire.
what. Well, when she called in the show,
Yeah, she called on the show, and I
BB Newworth called, and he turned every shade of red.
did you ever watch Cheers?
Yeah.
Lilith,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
BB Newworth.
Yeah.
She's from Princeton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was
I
like
had-
so cute.
I
Funny. He was like,
I was like, why are you calling me woman? I told you never to bother me here. But another one was I am a huge fan of blues music
Yeah.
and a very up and coming blues artist. Actually, whose stuff is all over Sirius XM radio, and she did the Christmas party, and she headlines festivals, and a woman by the name of Eliza Niels.
Okay.
And Eliza drove down from Jersey City when we were located in Yardville
Yeah.
on the City of Angel station, and she sat with us.
Amazing.
And I was just floored.
Yeah.
And since then, her and I have, and Jay, her husband, boyfriend, manager, I don't know, all of the above. Anyway, we have Claire and I have become very friendly with both of them.
That's amazing.
But she's right, and like you said, the thing that keeps us doing it is the people you meet, the
Yeah.
people you talk to. I pinch myself all the time because all the things I do feed off of one another. I write a column for New Jersey Stage, and as soon as they hear I do that, or I can give them a 10-minute phone call or a 2-hour sit-down, or I can do a 20-minute podcast, that increases the likelihood that they want to deal with me.
Sure.
And so I've talked to people that I only dreamed about seeing in concert as a kid.
Right.
Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull, I've interviewed 3 times. And as a kid, I could never get tickets to see Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
His guitar player, Martin Barr, him and I, whenever he comes to town, he'll give me a call. Hey, Danny, how are you doing? And it's like you become friendly with these people where they become integrated into your lives.
Right.
And it's like reliving your youth all over again.
Yeah.
Except with bigger bellies and gray hair.
Sure.
But that's how that goes.
Yeah.
At least you have hair.
I don't even have much of that anymore. So, and it's just very. So, what you're doing, Mike, I think is great.
Thank you.
And I can't thank Melissa enough. For
Yeah.
doing
Yeah. We were actually just texting before I walked in here because she's talking about a Porch Fest in Tuckerton, I think, that's coming up pretty soon.
Ooh,
Yep.
Wow.
Princeton's is this.
Yeah.
It was just this weekend on Saturday.
Let me see if I have the date in front of me.
Tuckerton, I think, is
May 31st.
in May. Yeah, the end of
May 31st. So we were talking about that. Radio Garden State's going to do something with that. We're not 100% sure exactly what that's going to be yet. And she was like, do you have time to talk now? I'm like, you're actually catching me at a bad time. I'm about to walk in and do a show with Danny. And she's like, oh, tell him I said hi. But that's what I'm talking about. Quality people. You surround yourself with people like that. You eventually find more people like that.
Right.
And then your sphere and your little community can do anything.
Yeah.
You can do what is the saying? If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with a group. Whatever however that saying really actually goes. But that's what we got. We have a group of people that are trying to bring in other people like yourself and you and that want to be a part of what we're doing, and to have the breadth of experience, and also just kind of the hungriness and the connection of that to make it really something that's cool and interesting, to me is what it's all about. And that's why we've been successful in really only 9 months of Radio Garden State being an actual station. So to the moon with that.
That's great.
So what goes on at Jersey Fest? Other than live bands all day, I mean, what?
So people can
dwarf tossing or anything interesting like that.
So people can expect they get there. DJ April, who spins vinyl disco tracks, she'll be serenading everyone from doors to when the show actually starts. There'll be some other activations, like a photo booth and some different things on the floor. We also partnered with this. I can't believe I'm only bringing this up an hour and a half into the show. With the Jetty Rock Foundation, which is the nonprofit arm of the surf brand Jetty, we've partnered with them, Radio Garden State as a whole. So we're gonna do some events with them over the summer. Their Hop Sauce Festival down in LBI.
Now we're talking.
Co-host maybe for that one. We might need one. And then their Coquina Jam, which is for female surfers. It's kind of to get more women surfing. I think that's kind of Coquina. It's Coquina.
I thought you said coquito, which is Puerto Rican eggnog.
Oh, sure, yeah, with the rum or whatever.
Yeah,
in it.
homemade. Well, it got my attention.
Yeah. So they're going to be there as well. So we're donating a portion of the revenue that we make off of Jersey Fest back to the foundation. And the Jetty Rock Foundation supports our coastlines and the people that live and work on them, which is obviously great. So we got Jetty Rock there. They're gonna have a table set up there selling some Jetty T-shirts, I'm sure, and maybe some literature about Jetty Rock Foundation and all that kind of stuff. So they've been a great partner of ours too. So there'll be that. Obviously, Ruts Hut will be down there on the floor. You can buy a ripper. There'll be Johnny Pork Roll there. Buy depending on where you live, a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, or a pork roll, egg, and cheese. I will not take my side today.
Cases pork roll.
I've been really seeing a lot of cases. They just the Patriots, right? Somerset Patriots. They just did a
they have
partnership
Cases,
with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cases pork roll. When I was a kid,
Okay,
I lived about 6 blocks from Cases pork roll,
where they made it.
where they made it.
Oh.
Yeah. And they
would
made
drive
it.
me
They had a
nuts,
little
honestly.
tiny.
Yeah,
They had a building no bigger than this.
yeah.
Where it was they smoked the pork roll.
Yep.
And it was their office, which was like the size of that desk area over there. For those of you watching it on radio, and
It's small. In case
it's
you're
very
listening.
small.
It's small.
It's not
And-
big.
But it was in the section of Trenton called Chambersburg.
Okay.
And as a kid, I lived right off of Chambers and Liberty Streets, which is, they were located on Washington Street, which was a block in from Chambers and Liberty.
Yeah.
And I lived 2 blocks off of Chambers and Liberty. And every now and then in the morning, I could wake up and I'm like, my gosh, hopefully my mom's cooking. And it was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's Case's pork roll. Yeah.
Curses.
Right.
Yeah.
But, and then because Taylor Ham was
Sure.
actually in downtown Trenton off
Yeah.
of North Clinton and Perry Street.
Right. And there's like still there in that same, aren't they?
Yep.
Since like 1888, they've been
Yep.
in that
Same
spot.
building.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one worked for another, right? So Taylor
Case worked for Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taylor's
And he
the
had the
OG.
idea for pork roll, supposedly.
Yeah.
And then Taylor, John, I think his name was John Taylor.
Yeah. John Taylor.
Said no, and Case went out on his own. And somebody found a document. It was written in like 1898
Oh.
or
A
something
scandal.
when this happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Johnny, who, if you've never tried Johnny Pork Roll, and if you ever find yourself in Red Bank or Asbury Park, he always has his food truck, or if you come to Jersey Fest, of course, he has his food truck in North Eats in Asbury Park on the boardwalk there. But his physical location in Red Bank, if you ever have a chance, get it and meet John. Johnny is one of the most interesting and I'll say eccentric, but I don't mean that in a bad way. He is just so full of personality and like knows literally all the history of what you're talking about. It's incredible. Like, and he just sent me. He's been working on a movie. It's not officially announced yet, so I hope I'm not like, but you get the scoop here on Rock on Radio.
I'll get sued.
Yeah.
Not you. Don't worry about it. I'll take the hit.
Yeah. But he just sent me a trailer, essentially a trailer where he has like a bunch of, like we talked about the Marks. The Marks are a part of it. Johnny, of course, and some other notable NJ figures are on this trailer of basically a documentary on Taylor Ham and pork roll and the history and all this stuff. And he's been talking about it since I met him a few years ago.
Was he
And-
at the very first Pork Roll Fest?
I'm sure he was.
Because my band played that.
Okay, then yeah, I would imagine that Johnny was there. If Johnny wasn't there, it wasn't a pork roll fest. Honestly, like he's
They
he's
ran
the man.
out of pork roll. They had they were expecting like 500 people.
Yeah,
Over 2,500 people showed up.
Oh
They
my
ran out of pork roll. They had all these food trucks had to go back and get more pork roll,
Yeah.
and the place that it was hosted at, they had to go get more. It was
Yeah.
insane.
yeah. And but he's the best. I mean, he's literally one of my favorite people that I've met doing this show. And like he's like Jersey City. He's like, yeah, I'll be there. Don't worry about it. Like and then I was like, hey, can Ruts Hut use your truck to cook? And he's like, oh yeah, I don't care. Whatever. It'd be so great to meet somebody from Ruts Hut, and that's just like the way that he is. He just like loves. He's like my spirit animal. I say, he's like my favorite, one of my favorite people. So, but yeah, Johnny Pork Roll, the best.
Okay. Well, why don't we do some more music?
Yeah.
Who else is going to be at Jersey Fest?
We got Connor Bracken and the Mother Leeds Band. They will be playing second, so it's going to go Emerson, Connor Bracken, and then Reality Suite. That's kind of our lineup. So we're going to get louder as we go through the night to keep you awake. So I forget which songs I sent over of Connor's.
I have a Back in Town and When the World Stops Turning.
Let's do Back in Town. I think that's one of his newer ones.
All right. Mike Ham of Jersey Fest, May 17th at White Eagle Hall in Jersey City. And how much are tickets?
General admission $20, VIP $60. VIP gets you upstairs in the balcony, in the terrace balcony upstairs at White Eagle Hall. It gets you free tastings from Cellar 335. It gets you a seat, a dedicated bar, bathroom, the whole deal, and it's sold out last year. VIP.
Nice.
There's only 60 tickets capped available for that. So to me, that's the ticket that I would get because why not have some free food? Of course, you can go downstairs and buy a ripper, buy a sandwich, buy whatever. But that's what the ticket prices are.
Nice.
There you go.
All right.
Well, here's Connor Bracken and the Mother Leeds Band.
I'm counting the nights till I see your face. The work that you hate brings you back to the place. The things I'll do to build a life with you. And soon I'll buy the whole damn view. It's been a while, it's good to see you smile. I'm back in town. It's hard to see, but you could be with me. I'm back in town. You know it's been a while, it's good to see you smile. I'm back in town. You know it's hard to see, but you could be with me. I'm back in town. One more night and I'll be free. The money won't have a hold on me. And if that's not enough, I'll learn a thing or two. I'll make this world just me and you. Been a while, it's good to see you smile. I'm back in town. You know it's hard to see, but you can be with me. I'm back in town. You know it's been a while, it's good to see you smile. I'm back in town. You know it's hard to see, but you could be with me. Now I'm back in town.
Connor Bracken and the Mother Leeds Band here on Rock On Radio with Mike Ham of Radio Garden State talking Jersey Fest May 17th. Doors are
7 o'clock.
and show starts at
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. There you go. So if I come there at 7 o'clock on the 17th, I can mill around until 8?
Totally.
Is there something to entertain me, or would I be the entertainment?
DJ April up. She'll be upstairs spinning,
Oh,
plugged
that's
into the
right.
PAs.
April. Forgot he just said that.
Yeah.
My attention span is very little.
That's all good. Yeah,
Okay.
but people that
Who are
coming
you?
back after I run Radio Garden State. We're actually going to pull this show.
Oh, yeah.
Them.
No. This
The
is
show used to be on Radio Garden State.
Shout out to one of our
That's
former
great.
partners. So DJ April will be there. It's cool. Like I wanted something like a little bit different. Last year we just played like a playlist while people were kind of coming through. But she does all vinyl, spinning, and primarily disco style music. So we're excited about that. Something different.
I kid, and I'm going to get off track a little bit here.
You
Love it.
stop.
I don't even think we've
Yeah,
been
I
on
know
a track at all.
I know that's highly
Is there a
unusual
track?
for
I
me
don't
to-
even know.
Yeah, that's true. But I brought my parents back up here. They had retired to Florida, and then they moved to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
And now they're both. My mother just turned 82 the other day. My father is going to be 85 next week.
Yeah.
And it's. I was telling Claire this on the way here. One of the most difficult things for me is to, like, my dad is going to be 85. He looks better than I do.
Yeah.
And
My
I'm not
grandfather's
kidding you.
92. He looks better than me.
There you go.
You
See,
know,
we
he
got
could do
that.
more. He could do more push-ups than I can.
Wow.
It's
Let me tell you something. If I fall down on the ground face first, I'm staying there. I am not getting up. I will drink from a straw. Whatever you need me to do.
This is where I live now.
And I will sleep there. Eventually, the next morning, I'll be able to roll over,
Yeah.
put a pillow behind me or something, get me started. I don't know. But the reason why I brought my parents back up here, which is why I had gotten away from doing a indie show and a blues show every week. Well, the station's moving, so they've been going through a bunch of different things. But it was because I had my parents living with me for about 8 months till they found a house.
Yeah.
And I went down on Easter. I was with my parents and my sister and her family. We went to my sister's. And yesterday or the other day, I went to my mother's house before I went to my golf course job that I do twice a week. Because it was her birthday. I don't want to wish her happy birthday and hang out with her for a bit. And she actually looked at me, and we were talking about Easter, and she actually looked at me, and she said, well, you weren't there. I said, well, I wasn't where? She said, you weren't at your sister's on Easter. Were you there? And it really hit me hard.
Sure.
This is the reason why I brought her up here.
Yeah.
And my father, because she's starting to slip.
Yep.
And to see somebody that was so always sharp as a tack begin to go in that direction. I tease about short-term memory and everything.
Yeah.
But for those of you who may have older parents, there's a difference between the normal aging process and that.
Right.
And like I told Claire when we were coming here, on the way here, I almost got killed like twice. A car literally. I was at a situation where I was at a green light or at a red light, and there's a green left turn arrow.
Yeah.
So of course, 2 or 3 people always run the amber, and then when it goes away, right? So you always got to be wary of that.
Yep.
Well, today a gentleman, and it's 2 lanes, one for left turn, one to go straight.
Yeah.
I watched the light turn, and a gentleman's making a left-hand turn while it was still a green arrow, and somebody, instead of getting in the left turn lane, decided they would make a left turn out of the straight lane.
Sure.
And
As
almost
one
hit the
does.
guy, and,
Yeah.
they were only maybe, this intersection's only so wide, and if he had hit the guy, they would have came right at me. Little did I know that 200 yards down the road at the traffic light, which is red as I approach, so I'm kind of coasting up there, somebody runs the red traffic light and jumps over the median, and the car flips over literally from me to you away, which is about, 7
This is
feet?
today?
This was today on the way to get her.
Oh my God.
Like we would have been head on, right? Because you're saying it
He
came
would
from
have
the
hit
other
me head
direction.
on.
direction.
If I had not
Holy
stopped, he
smokes.
would have, that car, and it flipped, and it rolled. It
Yeah.
flipped over and rolled, and there were parts flying off, hit my hood of my truck. And I was just like, man, life is so short,
Oh, yeah.
And given the fact that I was on a plane in February that had problems with the landing gear, and we were told to brace for impact,
Sure. Yeah.
A
A lot of that going on.
I'm starting to think that maybe it's not just her that's trying to kill me. There's a lot of other people in this area.
And I wasn't even there.
And you weren't even there.
Yeah.
Although we did travel to Clarksdale together.
Yes, and it was good. We had no close calls, thankfully.
Well, except for where I set myself on fire.
Well, that was all you.
Yeah, it was
Wasn't on me.
with a cigar.
Oh, perfect.
The wind blew up and blew the ash off the end of my cigar, and it went right between my shoe and my ankle.
Oh.
All of a sudden, I'm like, looking down. She's like,
Did
"Why are
the
you
bugs
on fire?"
Where's
Like
the
a-
smoke?
Like an old school hot foot.
Yeah. So just think about that, people. That's
Yeah.
my PSA for
Sure.
for this hour.
You never know when your ticket's punched. Brought
Right.
to you by.
Bye. That's right.
Life insurance.
That's right.
Yeah.
While I was lingering around thinking of things,
Sure.
I just came out with that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, how many bands in total are going to be at the Jersey Fest?
So 3 headlining bands. We'll have John Kaz doing kind of like a couple songs in between the first and second band that are just more like Jersey focused. Like, you know, the comedian Chris Gethard. So John or Kaz, call him Kaz. Kaz and Chris just had a song come out called "Bury Me in Essex County." So songs like that.
How appropriate for my last
Sure.
segment.
Yeah. And then the Creatures of Chrome are also going to perform. They're just going to play a track and then do a performance between the second and third bands. They're obviously not a band; they are pole dancers. I saw them at Salty's in Belmar last year. Honestly, you want to talk about some of like the craziest physical things that I've ever seen, like splits on the ceiling, kind of like crazy stuff, upside down, spinning. It was wild. So we're excited to have them obviously as a part of it. So 3 total bands, but there's obviously some other entertainment sprinkled in over the course of the night.
I did that at the 15th anniversary, didn't I?
Pole dance.
Yeah. Splits on the ceiling.
The 2011 Christmas Spectacular. That's why
That could be
that's
why
it all
I'm
went
not
downhill.
around anymore.
Yeah,
That's
I heard
right.
about you, old ceiling split Danny.
Yeah, that's it.
The visual, I just can't get out of my head. Oh, gosh. Woo.
Oh man.
What are you looking at me like that for?
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a good time. How much
Yeah.
time do we have left, Claire? Speaking of which.
Math has not been my strong point today.
Time math is
So,
tough though.
it's like backward.
Space-time continuum.
And I do
It
payroll,
only goes
so
up to, it only goes up to 60 though. This
Yeah.
so that's a
so
whole other
16,
thing.
17 minutes.
So, we do.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do one more tune, and then we'll come back, and we'll get back to Radio Garden State.
Cool.
And again, the website.
RadioGardenState.com.
Okay, and you can get tickets to Jersey
Tickets
Fest
there.
and
They
everything,
can
yeah?
check out all of our hosts that we have on the station. Your pictures on there. We got
Ooh.
a local joints program, which let's talk about that when we come back.
Okay.
But yeah, let's finish it up with whichever one you like the best.
Okay. So while she's looking for that,
Yeah.
Eeny, meeny. So,
what is it?
well, Emerson or...
Do
I mean,
Emerson.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
I
Another
forget.
one from
Hurricane,
Emerson?
I think, was the other one that I gave you.
Okay. Well, you got Emerson, you got Connor Bracken, and you have Reality Suite.
Yep. I have one of each of them.
Okay. So I just want to know, when I told you could bring friends for the ride, how come you didn't bring any of these pole dancers with you?
Well, they live all the way down in Asbury Park, so it's a ride.
Well, look, Mike, I know you don't know me that well, but I would have picked them up if the situation
Listen,
was reversed.
come on out to Jersey Fest. You can meet them in person. Taylor and Kim are the best. They're so awesome, like great people, and they do like a great inclusive kind of thing for that community. So
Oh, inclusive.
all shapes and sizes. Really.
Oh, I don't know if this shape will be able to handle that.
I don't think it will either.
So what have
Yeah.
you decided upon there,
We're
producer
doing
Claire?
hurricane season.
What are we doing?
Hurricane season?
Yes.
And who is that
Hurricane
by?
Emerson Wolf and the Wishbones.
Crying what became of me, like he didn't have his dirty hand in it. Love is shit at 23. So was I, and I know it. Now my honey calls me babe. She still tries
Yeah.
I am. I am the boss of you.
Apparently so.
Mm-hmm. I can mute you.
You threatened me.
Then I have to carry the show by myself. I've already been doing that for the first hour and 50 minutes, but I don't want to do it for the rest of the show.
I just show up and let you in the door.
Yeah. Thanks for unlocking the door for me, Danny. I appreciate it.
He fits right in, don't
That's
he?
right. It does. It's a radio guy.
Are you threatening me? I am the great Cornholio. You have to be for my Julio. Yeah.
You missed your calling.
Oh, man.
My gosh, all these new Beavis and Buttheads have been popping up on my Instagram feed.
Yeah?
Freaking more. They're funnier than the old ones.
Did you see the that Saturday Night Live thing where they were dressed up like him?
Oh yeah,
Oh, that was-
God, that was crazy. Like,
They
they
had
looked
and he's looking at the guy.
freakishly- Yeah.
He was doing the astronomy guy.
Yeah. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Tyson,
Yeah.
right? Those two. So, what are the plans going forward for Radio Garden State? And what was it that you wanted to talk about?
Our local joints program, which is
Okay.
part of what we're talking about, like what some of our future plans hold. So, like, obviously, all the stuff that we do is really like Greetings from the Garden State, the podcast that we started, is really the antithesis of everything that's kind of happened since then. You know, so that's how we started Jersey Fest. That's how we launched Radio Garden State. And really, the way that the show started was local businesses. That's all we really did at the very beginning. And so we started talking to local business owners that we know. Obviously, some of the people that run shows on the station own local businesses. So we launched this thing called Local Joints, Local Tunes. So essentially, it's a free program for businesses to join. All you have to do is play Radio Garden State in your shop. We'll drop off some, like a one-up with some stickers and a QR code to, come
Cool.
connect with the station. And it's, if you're part of the free plan, like that's pretty much where it starts and stops, but you become part of our ecosystem. So RadioGardenState.com/local joints has all of our 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 businesses that have already signed up for it. And they're really from, North Jersey all the way down to Atlantic City really is the kind of our scope right now. There's one in Trenton, Slam and Brew in Trenton, coffee shop down there. So it's just like a way that we can kind of like provide some marketing for businesses that are supporting what we're doing. And there's, like Ruts Hut is on here. The Great Notch Inn, another legendary spot, is on here. Some breweries, Tony's Baltimore Grill, which is my favorite place in Atlantic City. If you've never been, you got to go. A 24-hour-a-day bar. They're open 24 hours,
Wow.
and they serve 24 hours.
Where is this golden place?
It's Tony's Baltimore Grill in Atlantic City. It's been there since 1927. It's right
Wow.
behind the Tropicana on Atlantic Avenue.
Very cool.
It is the best. If you're going, I mean, I got
Wrap
nothing
it
to
up.
do. I got nothing to do tomorrow. I'll come with you. But yeah, so that's something that we like. Part of how we want to start to, like, I just say, like, obviously it's a radio station, so a lot of the stuff that we do is rooted in the traditional ways of doing radio. But like, why not? Because we can. Why not think outside the box and like try some different things? Like, who would give away free advertising on a radio station? Like, literally nobody. But we do. There is a paid tier, which is like $50 a month, where they'll get ads and stuff run on the station. But this is a nice, easy way to kind of get them into
Yeah.
our ecosystem. Then when we want to reach out and we want to do an event, we want to do a Jersey Fest, we want to do a smaller thing, just like a good way to kind of get them started with us. So like that's one way where then, selfishly, of course, then we can go to advertisers and be like, it's also not only these are our numbers, it's also played in these businesses. So multiply that by however many people are in there at any given time,
Right.
really. So
where, if they were interested in that, if somebody is a business,
yeah.
who should they contact to, or where should they go for that information?
So they can contact me, Mike at RadioGardenState.com. But if you go to that local joints tab, which is one of the top tabs on our site, there is a button that says "Click here to submit your business." They can click it. It'll go right to my email, and then I'll touch base with them. We just added Halo Roasters in Springfield
Oh, cool.
today.
Nice.
So yeah.
Because I have a couple, like well, we have Lullapies
Sure.
in Princeton, but Color Me Mine in Princeton. She plays a lot of different kind of radio things.
Yeah.
So I could ask her if she wants to do it.
Like, why not do something like curated and interesting and cool and
Yeah.
supports local? Like,
Yeah.
you're, as a local business, you want people to support you.
Right.
You know, one hand washes the other kind of thing, and that's how we're thinking about that.
Yeah.
Her and Claire were cellmates.
Oh, this past week.
The one in Princeton. Yeah.
We are partners in crime in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That was the week before that. But she would definitely. I mean, she's a promoter, and a place like that, you're sitting and listening to
Yeah.
radio all day long.
Yeah.
So.
And we're doing, I mean, all kinds of things. Like, we just broadcasted a gubernatorial discussion, which we never wanted to do anything in politics. That was like, especially with the podcast, with the lottery being a sponsor of ours.
Oh, right.
We just can't. We
Right.
can't. Like, we just had Mikey Sherrill on the show this past week, so we didn't run the ads specifically for that episode, and we kept it very non-political. But we the gubernatorial discussion, we just had an opportunity to do it. The topic was the future of small businesses. The future of small businesses in New Jersey, obviously with the election coming up this fall, and 7 of the major candidates from both sides of the aisle were there, and they just had a discussion, and we were the only outlet to carry that discussion live, which was cool, of course.
That's great.
Yeah, and so things like that is kind of like where I see the station moving towards, like more. The podcast grew to a point that we were able to get sponsors like that because, and I mean no disrespect to anybody that does something in a studio, but like we were in the world. Like we would go to a restaurant, we would set up the mics and everything there, we would record, we'd give stickers out, we'd give whatever out. And for this, I'm like, why am I trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to like always, just record or broadcast from my basement or wherever? Like, let's take it out and let's see what we can do. And the more we've been able to do that, the more people we've been able to meet and the more opportunities that we have.
Over the 16 years I've done this show, I've done that a lot.
Yeah.
I was on a station, 40-foot hole radio,
Yep.
out of Lenoka Harbor.
Okay.
And Dave was an incredible sound engineer.
Yeah.
And we would broadcast the entire Colts Neck Rock Festival live from
love that.
start to finish.
Yeah.
We broadcasted so many of the candlelight concerts for epilepsy live, start to finish.
Awesome.
And Claire and I have gone on multiple occasions out into the world, as
Yeah.
you say, and done some live on location stuff.
It's the
and
best.
it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we've worked with Paul Marzano on that on a couple
Yeah.
of things.
Jersey Shore Jams.
right.
And Kelly.
And it is always a great way to get in touch. The heck is that?
I love that song.
So you have to understand, we're all here, and all of a sudden we hear music.
I was like, oh my God, is somebody coming in here? Like, is this where it ends?
What was I playing?
I don't know. I couldn't hear it.
And the looks on all of our faces were quite astounding, actually.
It's from your website.
I
had
the
your
autoplay.
website open.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks
From
for
your
giving me the number.
website.
I
What
was
the
like-
heck was that? I got to get that off my website.
Well, I was on your website trying
Oh,
to get a
man.
link, and I'm like, I hear music.
Yeah.
So we only got a couple of minutes left, Mike. So first off, thank you very much for
Oh, thank you for having me. This has been
allowing us to be part of your
great. 100%.
programming.
Yeah.
And thank you for making the trip here to the hinterlands.
I love coming out here.
What does the future hold for Radio Garden State? What's the goal for you guys, other than to continue to grow?
Yeah, it's just to continue to I do one of the things that I really want to do is bring more hosts onto the station. That is just one goal that we have.
Okay.
We do a lot of pre-recorded stuff. I don't mean pre-recorded shows like yours, but playlists and stuff that we kind of stream throughout the day when we don't have a host
Right.
running a show.
Okay.
So I'd like to fill that time. That is one goal that I have, to kind of have more people involved. But it's just a matter of like, there's a lot of things coming in Jersey, and there's a lot of things that are happening, and I do think that we're in a position where we can kind of like have some influence on how that operates and how that works and how that looks. That's about as specific as I can be about it, like on air and talking about it. But it's just a matter of just continuing to think a little bit differently on how radio works, how shows work, how we're engaging people, how we're bringing content to people, and doing something a little bit different. So I'm excited. I've seen it grow. I didn't think that it was going to get the legs that it did out of the gate. Really,
as quickly
honestly.
as it
Yeah,
has
that's
too.
great.
Yeah.
So that's
Because internet radio discoverability really hard, accessibility hard. We also worked with NJIT in the fall. They built us our own app, so that is
Oh, that's
forthcoming.
cool. Oh, good to know.
Yeah, so we have some interns working on that right now. But so things like that, just kind of thinking outside the box, thinking what we can do different than everybody else, because we have no restrictions on how we do it and what we do. So that's what I would say. That is kind of what the future of Radio Garden State is, and I'm very excited because of what I've seen so far to have all the good people that we have on, all the buy-in that we've had from people so far. So excited about it.
okay.
Yay.
Great. Well, and I want to thank Melissa again for
Yes,
for
thank you,
letting,
Melissa.
Yay.
making the introduction. And are we done? Are we out of time?
You are. You have 30 seconds left.
Oh, beautiful.
Perfect.
Well, we again thank you,
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mike, and best of luck with the station. We're proud to be partnered with you. Next week, scheduled guest is Ken Martin. He's from South Jersey. And until then, rock on!